What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit of a mistake that I made during my bulk last year, something that I just discovered that I did a little bit wrong. Um, in some ways, it worked out really well, in some ways, it didn't, but I think it's just really interesting what I learned. So I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to be standing up because I'm going to be posting physique throughout to tell you what I'm talking about. Anyway, so last year during my bulk, I made triceps a big focus. I really tried to grow them. I was seeing guys like basement bodybuilding, Joffrey Schofield put on a lot of mass on their arms. So I got, a reinvigorated interest in building my arms and specifically the triceps. One thing that really helped me was I focused a lot more on forearm and wrist training, just all the angles, all the rotation, the expansion with the finger expanders. I got some fantastic ones from the Golden Grip Shop. Those really help with elbow pain. So obviously you're not going to grow your triceps directly from wrist training, but as far as keeping your elbows healthy so that you can actually grow them, that stuff really helps out a lot. So that was a big breakthrough in getting my triceps to grow again, and grow they did. Or did they? That See, as I've cut down, that's been kind of confusing me because the whole time I was bulking, I felt like my triceps were growing. Like I'd look at them and be like, damn, these are growing. Like I'd feel it. I'd lean back against the wall and it would feel different. It's like, oh, sure, they were growing, and I turned to the side and they looked sick. And it's like, damn, okay, these are really growing. I felt sore the entire time. I was eating a big calorie surplus. My strength was going up on my tricep exercise. It's like, this is working. This is working. And then, cut down again, and I'm kind of looking at my physique, and it's like, I don't know, man. My arms kind of look as skinny as ever. I still have a little bit of that spider physique. I look a little bit like more like an Abercrombie model now that my abs are coming in, and I was trying to look like a bodybuilder, right? So what happened? Did I not grow my triceps? Well, let's see what happens. Oh, no, I did. That's crazy. I went from looking like an Abercrombie model to looking like a bodybuilder, right? Just turning to the side. And it's not just pressing everything in. You can see even when there's clearly space, like suddenly when I turn to the side, there's definitely some mass on the triceps. I mean, obviously I had some before, but I grew a lot. No, I wasn't crazy. Here's what I think happened. I think I grew almost exclusively the long head. Now it's probably the largest area of mass. um, Looking back at it, that's where I was sore most. That long head, like kind of moving up into the shoulder, because obviously that one does cross the shoulder. And guess what exercises I was using? I was doing a ton of overhead work. My Probably my favorite, for the most part, was going to be lying tricep extensions, but I was doing it with a lot of a lot of stretch back. I was adding a little bit of a pullover element into it, like really letting the shoulder sink back into a pullover a little bit. But obviously, continuing with a tricep extension. In addition to that, I was just doing a ton of actual pullovers for my back day. I mean, obviously, I was treating those more as a, Terry's major exercise, but it's definitely supplemental, work for the long head of the triceps. And even I'm not enough of a biomechanics expert. I don't think this makes sense, but this is what was happening. Somehow, I was managing to even make like full range dips. That's where I was feeling the most, like up in that like rear delt region. I was exploring like kind of like very specific patterns to make them feel okay on my shoulder, because on both shoulders I was dealing with various issues throughout the bulk, so I'd have to be like very specific about it. But I was somehow getting my full range dips to still feel like it was biasing towards that long head. And obviously I was eating a ton of calories, and I had months where like there was not, like, my triceps were sore the entire time, which is sick because I'd be having my primary tricep day, but then I'd also be getting some good work from my shoulder day because I was doing a lot of overhead pressing and handstand push-ups, which I think were contributing a lot. Obviously, a primary arm day, which again, doing a good stretch exercise there. And then I was getting supplementary. work from my back days because I was incorporating a lot of pullovers. So like my triceps were sore and the entire time, big calorie surplus, eating everything. But looking back, where was I feeling that soreness? Well, it was kind of more in that that kind of upper inner area. And so what I realized is I wasn't doing a whole lot for the lateral head, right? Like the only time I do like JM presses or whatever would be just like as a finisher after my tricep extensions. I do all the tricep extensions I could, and then sometimes like on my last set I just kind of do a mechanical drop set, you know, kind of heap it over in a pullover fashion, get to my neck, switch out the grip, and then do some um, JM press. But obviously that wasn't like a big focus. And obviously it's going to be incorporated into, dips to whatever extent, probably the incline push-ups. But I mean, I've done a lot of pressing in my career. I'm probably not going to get too much more growth just from pressing. And I wasn't doing a whole lot, looking back at it, where um, that head would have been the most biased. And I think I'm at a point. I mean, again, my arms may not be a standout body part, but I'm fairly experienced lifter. I'm not at the point where you're just going to be able to throw a non-specific exercise at something and just everything's going to grow, right? And just like looking back at my exercise selection, like very little of it would have been what you call, you know, long head biased. So, or sorry, lateral head biased. And so as a result, I have this situation where I look like I made zero arm gains from the front, and then if I turn to the side, like I'm still kind of like a spider mode. Kind of, I think I like to think I have kind of an Abercrombie model look. That although not Abercrombie, this is Rascal apparel jeans. When we're Abercrombie, because obviously I can't lift in them, but I can do. About to be able to do full front splits very soon in Rascal apparel jeans. And I'm confident they'll um, hold up to that, and I'm gonna put the Shoes Code Atlas links going to be down there. But anyway, where's I going with that? But anyway, yeah, I still kind of spider mode from the front, but then as soon as we turn around to the side, there we go. So that's just I think that's just a really interesting illustration of how important it is to really get technical with the stuff. So I want to do a big shout out to Basement Bodybuilding for just really getting technical with arm training. He's really, I mean, not that no one else has ever done that before, but I mean he's doing it in a way that is very experience based. He's not really worried about science or anything like that. He's just really getting into the technical details of like how you train the arms. And you know I didn't want to hear it. It's boring to get into all that stuff. I'm triceps, dude. I'm training my triceps. They're sore. They're growing, right? Well, yeah. Apparently triceps are not triceps. Apparently there is um, a little bit of detail necessary to actually grow all parts of them. So this year when I bulk, you can be sure I'm going to be making sure that I include more lateral head focus so that I can finally yeah, I feel like my silhouette. I mean, I've got the traps, I've got the delts, I've even got I've even got kind of the little whatever the hell this is, forearm flexors, kind of sticking out, but there's a hole or nothing's really sticking out right here. So even though I definitely feel those like stretch exercises, and I definitely grew a lot. It's like, what's the point of because all my gains are like they're like it's like a cartoon where you see all the characters like stacked up behind like a pillar or behind a behind a tree trying to hide from the ops. Like all my tricep gains are back here like trying to hide from the ops. So you can't even see them from the front, and you can't look at a mirror from behind you, so you don't reap the benefit unless you turn to the side, really. So that's no good. So um, anyway, you guys can be sure that I'm gonna correct that next bulk and actually try to train the medial head, even though maybe or not. No, I didn't mean the medial head. Sorry, I don't care about that. You can't see that one, so I'm not going to try to train. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I guess that's important too. But no, I'm going to be trying to focus on the lateral head this time, even if it's not giving me the same kind of like total, overall like soreness and and whatnot, and it's not making me feel like I'm working it overall because it is a a smaller part of the muscle, but obviously like that small part makes a massive visual change. So I'm going to be getting a little bit more in depth, a little bit more detailed. And I do think that's where more specialized hypertrophy guys have an advantage over someone like me. I think there's absolutely no reason why you can't work on like functional goals, whether that be mobility, strengths, all sorts of good stuff simultaneously with hypertrophy. You absolutely can. But if you're if you are doing all that, you may not be devoting. It's not the physical resources. Your recovery is fine, but the mental resources to actually be thinking about what you're doing and making good decisions that are gonna advance you to your goals. So that's why just having a dedicated arm day or like calf day, I've been making calves a focus, and that has resulted in some very good gains. I didn't think calf growth was possible, but obviously some of this is tibial. I see that. I mean, obviously some of the visual impact is the tibialis here, but there's also just some straight up calves that I have now. That I look at that, look at that. Yeah, and the reason that I have that now, because I used to be one of you got. Um, I used to be, Mr. No Calves. I mean, you look how lanky I am, and you can just imagine that it's going to be hard for me to look like I have big calves, right? Um, I gotta search through the old pictures and get like a good comparison because obviously I'm the guy who trains the jeans, so obviously I'm not out there trying to take pictures of my calves. So I'm gonna have to try to find some pictures from the beach or something to show you that they were skinny previously. And I'm not saying they're big now. I don't have big calves, but I would say they're at least proportionate. And the point of all that was that happened because I was doing like dedicated calf days. So I was actually putting the mental resources into actually trying to figure out something that worked. And I ended up finding some exercises that were just way more effective than your standard standing calf raise. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was interesting. That calf program is in Parking Lot Bodybuilding, the new program that I released. Even if you have a full gym, this calf routine is better probably than what you're using. So check that out if you actually want to have your calves grow and just whatever you want to grow, like pay attention to exercise selection and obviously this is not for beginners, right? Beginners just lift. Everything will grow, but for advanced lifters, like exercise selection matters a lot. And just think like really thinking about it, getting into the details. Like again, big props to all the basement bodybuilding and all the guys who are really getting into more detail about this and not just being just like lift however you want. It's fun. Just do big lifts and you'll grow because it actually takes more than that. You can like make substantial gains again, without making all the gains you want if you're not paying as much attention as you should. By the way, pardon me. I guess now here you can see the you see car parts. Got some new eyes for the whip. I'm waiting on trying to find a front fascia for the Magnum. Once I can find that, I'm going to redo the front end. It's going to look sick. If anyone has a source for a Magnum SRT8 front fascia that's in relatively good condition, please hit me up. Like I would be willing to pay like whatever to get that. I've been trying to find a source for that. But anyway, okay, I'm done with the plugs here. I thought this was interesting. I hope you guys also find it interesting. See you guys next time.